What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here with the review for Love and Hip Hop's Family Reunion Season 1 episode. I believe this is 3. Let me double check to make sure I'm right. Yep, this is 3. Oh man, we got 3 more episodes left. All right, this episode was titled Until Freedom, you guys. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this review, shall we? All right, you guys. So, today, the groups, they're going to split up and then they're going to come together for dinner. So the girls are having a spa day, which is set up by Sierra. And, we saw Bambi and Scrappy. They were talking to each other. And Bambi is just telling Scrappy that, at this point, I just need this spa day just because of all the stuff that's going on. Mama D is here, Eric is here. And then on top of that, the issues that are going on. Excuse me, y'all. The issues that are going on with Bambi and Scrappy. So then we see Jock and his son Amani, and they out running, and Jock is talking to his son. So Jock tells us in his interview with the producers that Amani had just recently gotten arrested for doing donuts in front of the club, and Jock is like he's hanging out with the wrong crowd, and he just wants his son to just get away from bad influences on him. So then they do talk about Amani and Carly's daughter. Like I said before, you guys, that's just fake right there. Yeah, he's talking about he got a whole, did he say a suitcase of condoms? Whatever. So then, like I said, he and Jock are talking about the fact that, Jock feels that he hangs around with some bad people, wrong crowd. And, he was like, well, when you told me that, I immediately stopped hanging out with that person. He said, no, you didn't. And, Amani just tells Jock that, he wants him to not be so hard on him. And I'm going to circle back to that in just a minute. Like, I get where Jock is coming from. And, his son is like, but I'm 19, I'm about to be 20. And that's when I was like, ugh. I remember that age. I remember my mom used to tell me a lot of stuff. She's like, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't hang out with this person, you shouldn't do, certain things that I shouldn't do. But at 19, 20, you think you've grown and you think you know everything. Like, looking back at 20-year-old me, it's like, wow, some of the things that I did in my 20s, more specifically my late teens, my early 20s, my early 20s. It's like if I could take some of that stuff back, I really would. Like a lot of things that my mom told me, wish I had listened to her. So then, like I said, so the ladies, you guys, like I said, they split up. They're having a spa day, so everyone is doing a spa day with the exception of Erica because, Sierra just didn't feel that Erica, with the whole situation between she, Scrappy, and Bambi, it would be a good idea. I agree with that. We didn't have Mama D or Judy there either. I noticed that. Joy and Trina, they had so much fun the night before that they sleeping. And then Yandy, she's working on, this event that she's going to do later that night. So then, the ladies, I do love the fact that all the ladies was telling Bambi how they see a change in her and they see a difference in her, which I can agree with that. Bambi is not the same Bambi that we met on Basketball Wives. What was it? Basketball Wives LA season 2. I will say that Bambi has grown and matured as a woman, so I will give Bambi that. Sierra was like, but Bambi, you are the reason that I was able to be a good stepmom. I was like, huh? But you know what? It is what it is. But I do like the fact that, they all gave her praises. So then we see Yandy. She's talking to Mendices, and, she's telling Mendices that, she's planning this event for the night, for dinner. She's going to have Tamika Mallory there and my son, I forgot what his last name is. But she's going to have those two there so that they can talk about, the Black Lives Matter movement. And how she just wants, the whole cast to be able to use their social media presence to, champion on the movement, which I agree with that. And I'm going to talk about that a little deeper in a few minutes. But let's move on. All right, you guys. So, everybody, like I said, the ladies, they were by themselves getting the spa treatment. Carly and Jasmine, I'm going to talk about them real quick. Like, Jasmine starts crying when she realized, because Sierra mentioned how much Carly loves Jasmine, and she cried. And then, in her interview with the producers, Jasmine is like, it's hard for her seeing how close Carly is to her friends, but when she was growing up, she didn't have Carly or her dad around. And, she just didn't feel that Carly made her much of a priority. So then we do see Carly and Jasmine, and they go up to the side and they have a conversation. And, Jasmine tells Carly that she doesn't want her to be so hard on her because, Carly wasn't around for her, nor was her dad when she was growing up. And then, Carly is talking about the fact that when she had Jasmine, she wanted to make sure that Jasmine had everything. And I get, I get that. And I think that, parents, I'm not knocking any parents who do stuff like that. They want to make sure that their child has everything that they could want or ask for. I don't have an issue with that. Not at all. What I will say is it's got to be a juggling. It's got to be a juggling act. You got to be able to balance. Yes, kids want things. They like, kids like having nice things. They probably want material things. But also at the core, a child wants to feel loved, wants to feel wanted, stuff like that. So as well as you providing, the nice things for your kid, you also have to be a present parent in your child's life and show them, hey, mommy or daddy loves you. I'm always here for you, stuff like that. So you just have to show them that you are a present person. You're present. You love them. You will go to the ends of the earth for them. And again, like I said, I'm not saying that Carly wouldn't do that for her daughter, but she doesn't feel that. So just put that out there. So then we see the guys. So the guys are by the pool and they eating pizza and they talking. So, I forgot, I think it might have been Scrappy or Jock who asked Mendices, like, what was it like when you came home? Like, what was the transition? And, Mendices was like, when he came home, things were completely different. Things didn't go back the way that he was intending for things to go when he came home. And I was like, why would you expect that? You were gone for what was it, 4 years? Things have changed. Yandy he's talking about how Yandy is doing this and doing that. He's also talking about the fact that, when he and Yandy argue, it's over literally petty stuff. And then Ray J chimes in and says, me and Prinky, our arguments, they're petty as hell too. When Prinky filed for divorce, I found out through TMZ. So then you went back and repaid her by filing and having her find out on the Shade Room. Oh, Ray, you and Prinky, I can't with Ray and Prinky. So then he says, Prinky, me and her, when we get into the arguments, it's like, I know she loves me, but does she like me? Because, sometimes she called me dumb and she called me bitches. And then, she told me, go to your room. Yeah, go to your room. And I'm just like, well, Ray, if you act like a child, if you act like the 2 kids that she got now, go to your room. I'm with Princess. Go to your room. Go to your room. Let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So then we also have Sierra and Bambi talking. And, Bambi is talking about how when, with her and Scrappy, he gets real defensive. Because she said that, she doesn't feel like herself at times. And I'm like, okay, that's understandable. You and Scrappy, when y'all got back together, y'all got married. Then you got pregnant with Breland. And then after you had Breland, it wasn't even a year later that you got pregnant with your baby girl. So I can understand where Bambi's coming from. And then she says that Scrappy tells her that, well, I got 3 kids to take care of. Okay, Scrappy, what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? If your wife is telling you she doesn't feel like herself, you be like, okay, baby, I get it. Take some time to yourself. Like, let me send you to it's COVID, so she can't go anywhere. And that's another thing. They're in close quarters with each other and they're arguing. But if you just say from Bambi, like, okay, babe, I hear you saying that you don't feel like yourself. How about you just go to the room, if this is late at night, draw her a nice bubble bath or whatever. Enjoy the bath. I take care of the kids. I feed the kids. I'll give the kids a bath and I'll put the kids to sleep and you just relax. Or if it's during the day, you know what, Bambi, go lay down go get into bed. Today It's all about you. I'm gonna cook breakfast for you, bring it to you in bed. Again, like I said with the kids, you be with the kids, cook for them, do whatever for the kids, and just give your wife a break. Now, I'm not saying that Scrappy doesn't do that, but when he has that rebuttal of, I got 3 kids to feed, this is a tit for tat situation at this point. So I just want, him to do that. And then they also do talk about this situation with Erica and Scrappy. And I have to say that I agree with Sierra in this situation with this Scrappy and Erica thing. Granted, yes, E-Money, she's 16 years old. But what kind of, I'm not saying that Scrappy is setting a bad example for E-Money, but what are you saying to your daughter by having this contentious relationship with her mother? Because you are her father. You're the first man that she fell in love with. And when she goes out and dates a man, do you want a man to treat your daughter the way that you are treating Erica, her mother? Like, do you want that? That's the only question that I have. Do you want a man to treat E-Money the way that you're doing Erica? Be the bigger person, Scrappy. Sit down with Erica. Find some common ground with Erica. I ain't saying that you got to be best friends with Erica, but find some kind of common ground so that way your daughter can see, okay, although my parents are not together, this is how a relationship should work. Simple as that. So then Trick, he's talking about him and Joy, because Joy walked by and she gave him the finger. And Trick and Joy, they forever going through this divorce. So Trick, he's still on the same thing that he's been on for the last 3 seasons of Love and Hip Hop Miami. He doesn't care if Joy moves on. He doesn't want Joy to pick a man. He wants to be able to pick that man. They talked to Teeny Fizzle Pop about him being single. He's single, obviously. And then let's talk about Paris and April. So you guys remember the last season of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, those two got into it because of the situation between Teeny Fizzle Pop and April. They were able to, make up with each other. Now, what I will say to you, April, is since you dating Dr. Dre, you might want to, duck and dodge, bob and weave, run and jump, hop and skip if you see a fist coming your way. Just saying. Let's move on, you guys, and wrap the episode up. All right, you guys, so we're gonna wrap the episode up. Now, the guys, they were sitting outside by the pool eating, and Jock got a notification on his phone, and it was a notification that local Dallas rapper, Mo3 had been killed here in Dallas. I really felt so bad for Jock. Didn't know that Jock knew the young man. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I didn't really know, and I live in Dallas and I'm from Texas, but I didn't know much about him until he passed, which is really sad because the stuff that I saw of the young man, he was extremely, extremely talented. Like, extremely talented. We're gonna talk about him in we're gonna go deeper in just a few minutes. So you guys remember I was telling you guys that Yandy was having an event. So it's a Black Lives Matter event. She has Tamika Mallory there. And I think she said my son Lynn. I think that's what his name is. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. And, we're talking about Black Lives Matter. And as much as Yandy does get on my nerves at times, I have to have, I gotta say, I have mad respect for her. And I agree with what Yandy was saying, with them being on, and I'm actually gonna tie in Porsche as well, since we're talking about this, because I know so many people have said that, Porsche's storyline at the beginning of the season of Real Housewives of Atlanta was fake with this whole Black Lives Matter movement situation. And, Kenya, she made her comment. We're not talking about that. But the one thing I will say that I agree with Yandy on is these people have a big, huge platform. They're on television. Like, people buy some of the things that they say. Like, they advertise for those products that they advertise for. People actually buy those products. So if they have these millions, thousands, hundreds, millions of followers, if you talk about it on social media, if you talk about it on TV, wherever you talk about it at, it gets the word out. and it helps champion the cause. So I was in agreement with Yandy on that. And so then they sit down, to have dinner, and Yandy asked Jacques how's he doing, and he's just talking about how he's just been around so much gunfire lately. I think he said 4 people in the last 60 days had died that he knew. God, that is sad. And I'm pretty sure that they were all young. And then Scrappy said something that was 100%, factual, and he spoke it. You look at these rappers, and I'm using rappers as an example for this one. You look at these rappers. Actually, you look at people who do good for themselves. And I'm gonna use the rappers for this is an example because they, most of them grow up in the street life. They gang bang and all that stuff, and then they get the opportunity to do music, which is a way for them to be able to get themselves out of the hood, to get themselves out of the lifestyle and all that stuff. But once they get the fame, they still manage to stick into that lifestyle. And like Scrappy said, once you get out, you need to be a hand to somebody else to get out of that lifestyle. But they get so embedded in it and stuck in it that it's a never-ending cycle. Either you are in a grave, 6 feet in a grave, or you're in a jail cell, one of the two. And I do hate that. Like, that's something that, once you, like I said, once you get out, stay out. Don't go back. Be that for someone else. And, Trick was talking about how, back in the day, you could leave your door open and you didn't really have to worry about much, but now you got to worry about stuff. And my son said, yeah, that's because you took the neighbor out of the hood, and it's just the hood. And I was like, exactly. Because like, I remember when I was growing up, like my neighbors in my neighborhood, my neighbor that lived across the street from me, we all had keys to each other's houses. So, I mean, because it was a trust level. We were like family. It was a trust where you could, and then even when I would go visit over to their house, it got to the point where they were like, because I would ring the doorbell, they were like, if you keep ringing the doorbell, we're just gonna let you sit there. Like, you don't have to ring the doorbell. Come in. If the door's open, come in. I mean, come on in. And then like, it's interesting because even even when our neighbors weren't home, like they had an outside refrigerator that we would go to, and my mom would put stuff in there. Like, it was just a community where if one person had it, everybody had it. And it's just not like that in today's day and age. And it's really sad, but like you said, we got to be able to put the neighbor back in the hood and just get rid of, just stop the hood shit altogether. Overall, you guys, it was a really good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else. And share this video. Until the next one, you guys, which I will be back tomorrow for the Oval. Like this video. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Go to the Planner channel. Subscribe there. Also, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Wear your mask and socially distance. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.